I'll shoot this one again. Well, hello YouTube, and sorry it took so long to do this review, but illness and Christmas holidays took a lot of time. But here we are. I'm reviewing this riser I bought. I'm not calling it a bow because they didn't come with a bow. It's the Bucktrail Volon 19-inch riser. And first I have to tell you why I bought this riser, because I already have a lot of bows. I shot some competition for about 8 or 9 years ago, and then they still had the class bow hunter recurve, which means you could shoot a bow like this, aluminium riser. You could have a stabilizer on it, bare bow weight, whatever you want. The only restriction they had was you had to shoot split finger or 3 under. You were not allowed to face walk or string walk. That would put you automatically in the class of bare bow. At least in the Netherlands and in Belgium, the bow hunter recurve was a very popular class to shoot in, and I shot it with this actual bow. Then I laid down competition. We moved to Sweden, and it has been almost 8-10 years since I really got into competition shooting again. I joined the club here, and it was there that I found out the bow hunter recurve class does not longer exist. You have compound, recurve, bare bow, and then now they have a new class. It's called traditional, and that dictates you have to use a standard. You have to use a wooden riser. You can have ILF limbs. That's not a problem. You're not allowed to have any weights on it, and of course you can buy a bow, a custom-made bow with built-in weight in the wooden riser, so the bow doesn't tilt back. But I was just curious if I was going to like this competition class. I had no idea. Through my archery life, I have always liked heavy bows, and with heavy I don't mean heavy draw weight, although I shoot 50-55 pounds, but heavy bow really in weight, mass weight. And I've always had a little bit of problem with lightweight bows. They tend to move too much for me anyway. So I decided not to buy a very high-priced custom bow, not only because of the price, but also because it's really hard to get a hold of them here, and I didn't want to run the risk of ordering a very high-priced bow only to discover it doesn't fit my criteria, my demands, or what else. So I bought this bow just because I was curious, and I liked it. I liked the way it looked. I liked the colors. It's really nice. It's really dark green. It has phenolic here. Don't look at the grip. I will explain that later. But it's a really nice looking bow. The limbs I already had. The bow weighs almost 800 grams for a 19-inch riser. Price wise, I paid 180 euros. Is it worth the money? Let's cut to the chase. I think it is, but it has some downsides. The ILF system, it works okay. The grub screws, the screws that go in here, they are very tiny. They look very tiny. They're a little bit bigger on the inside, so that's a plus. Then the arrestor screw, some is in the riser here. It's the type that just goes against the tiller bolt, so it doesn't go in the tiller bolt. That's a much better option, but that takes up a lot more room in the riser, and I think they've done it to keep the cost low, but also because there's not enough room in the riser to have that system. Then, so it got my attention because of the looks. I really like the look of the bow. Does it shoot good? Yes, it does shoot good, but, and there's a big but. Not my butt, but it's a big butt. I hope you can see it. The grip area, it's not really flat. It's a bit rounded, and it's really rounded on this side. I'm a left-hand shooter, so I hold it with my right hand. And what it does, when I grip the bow, if I relax my hand, it has a tendency of just go like this. So I'm forced to keep my little pinky, or two perhaps, under my hand, so for preventing this. I don't like to grip the bow really hard, but I like having a raised width. So I don't like this, because this I just get a lot of torquing. So I like to have it like this. So I have to fill up this room. And the problem is, I bought this bow because of the looks. I've changed bows earlier. This one, it's also a nice bow. It's an old Hoyt Game Master 2. It had a very, very steep low risk grip on it, and I just built it out. As you can see, there's a palm shelf here, but it's really quite tiny. It's just a tiny grip. It just touches my hand here, and all I have to do is just relax my hand, and this is not going anywhere. I wrap my fingers around it because I don't want the bow to jump out of my hand, so I just have it like this. And that's the problem with the Volon. Because it has such a rounded grip area, I really would like to hold the bow like this, but it's really difficult to hold it like this because it can move. At the moment I'm going to grip the bow, there's still a lot of movement here. So why didn't I build it out with epoxy? Well, I did, but I didn't want to put it on the riser itself because that would immediately ruin the bow. So I came up with a solution. So yesterday I made this from 2-component epoxy. It's liquid metal, and I took it off now. I had a few shots with it. I had double-sided sticky tape on this, and it just fits in perfect here. It's a little bit rough. It's not ready yet. And I just tape it in, and that's the problem that I still have. I want the bow to look good. I don't want to spray it over. So I was thinking, if it's finally, if all the hot spots are filed down, I think I'm going to make a leather wrap around it, a thin leather wrap, so it looks good. And then when I want to sell the bow, if I'm going to sell the bow, I can just take it off. I shot a few arrows. They're over there. So that was 18 meters, 60 centimeter target face. It felt really good. I had a really good grip on it. And so the good sides of these bows is they're a good looker. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. Regarding finish, fit-look finish. Don't know if you can see it here. Here and here. There are some small indents in the clear paint. It's not that it's just bare wood. Perhaps you can see it even more now here. It's on the red. It's on the red. Yeah, it's not a problem. You can just rub in some oil or some. I think you could even spray it over a little bit, but it's not a problem. But it's a finishing detail. So it's a great looker. it needs some work in the grip area, and like I already said, it's the arrestor bolts of the ILF system. They didn't come loose on me, but I'm a mechanic and it would be much better if the stop screw would go into the ILF bolt. Just to show you what I mean with a flat grip, this is an Oak Ridge Brian, which also deserves a review because it's also a poor man's bow, but it's a really good performing bow. It's a heavy bow. I'm going to shoot this one in barebow competition. It has already a pretty nice grip of its own, but as you can see, entirely flat. So this part, it lies in the lifeline of your hand, like this, and as you can see, it's just completely flat. So it's neutral flat. Whereas this one, it's not only flat, but it's also tilting a bit to the left, which for a left-hand shooter means it forces my hand to the left. So there is no risk of my hand slipping off the bow because it's already tilted inside. This is another grip. I read it. It's flat, but it doesn't have a tilting to the right. It still performs because it's a very tight grip. It's not going anywhere, but I feel the difference immediately between the one I showed you just now and this one. Gorgeous bow. Look at this. Don't know if the camera can pick it up. Samick Stingray, 55 pounds. Also flat grip, tilting a bit inwards. What I don't understand, this is a very slim bow. It has almost the same dimensions as of my Game Master. So Nestan, sorry for that. I'm starting to speak Swedish now. It has almost no wood here, but it still holds up. It's 55 pounds. I draw it at 60 pounds. Great bow. Whereas this one, I would say it's at least half as thick. And this is phenolic. This isn't even wood. So I could start filing off a bit, but I promised my wife I wouldn't do it now, so. So, I will get back when the grip is completed, when I have it on the bow, and then we'll shoot some groups. But for now, good bow, not expensive, 170 euros. It's a good beginner's ILF bow. Big minus is the grip. It needs some attention. That's it. Thank you.